friends, it's so good to be back with you today. And I am so super duper excited about today's lesson because it is going to be our first steps on a wild adventure to explore the big, wide, wonderful world of plants. Why plants, you ask? Because plants are a very extremely important part of nature. Plants are living things. They grow and reproduce. They make babies like any other living things. There are thousands and thousands of different plants all over the world that humans and animals depend on in many ways every single day. For example, oxygen. The oxygen, the air that is the air that we breathe, that oxygen, it comes from plants. So we definitely need those, that's important. And then I did send a picture of some plants to talk about some of the other things that, many ways that plants help us and we depend on them. For example, our houses and many other buildings are built with wood from trees. Also from our trees, we get paper. The paper for our books and even toilet paper. It comes from the wood of trees. Or did you know that now you can also get toilet paper made from bamboo, a different type of plant like this one here. Also, materials to make a lot of the clothes that we wear can come from bamboo. Also comes, a lot of our clothes are made from cotton, which is a plant. All different kinds of plants. Then medicines, plants help, medicines that can help our bodies get well from illness or injury also comes from plants. For example, you may have heard about aloe vera. That's one that we use when we get burned. Cattails here, if you've ever seen in the lake or the river, inside these pods, there's a gel in there that can, if you get something that hurts, if you put that gel on there, it actually numbs it so it doesn't hurt anymore. There's lots of our different medicines that have come from plants. And then finally, my favorite thing that comes from plants is food. Did you know that the majority of the food that we eat comes from plants? You can see the corn here, mushrooms or herbs. But I wanted to also go back to our power plate that we have used in the past so we can kind of visualize here. The majority of all of our food groups here come from plants. The vegetables, the fruits, the grains like wheat and oatmeal and rice. And even our healthy proteins here, even though not all of these things are plants. Is a turkey a plant? No. Are eggs a plant? No. But these nuts and seeds are down here. Those come from plants. Even our healthy fats come from plants. So the majority of our food that we do eat come from plants. So that I would say, I think you're getting the idea that how important plants are to all of us. So our book today is one of my favorite characters, Cat in the Hat, and you know why, because you know how much I love to rhyme. I want to mention before we get started with our book though, as we read along together, there may be words or ideas that are new to you, you're not familiar with. But fear not, my otter friends. Our adventure into the plant world over the next several lessons will be quite enlightening and fun to learn. So, let's get started with Cat in the Hat. Oh, say can you seed? Oh my. I'm the Cat in the Hat, and I think you need to come take a look this thing called a seed. From the giant gum tree to this very small weed, every flowering plant started out as a seed. Plants are so useful to me and to you. Can you think of the ways I will name you a few. The paper for books and the cloth for your pants come from trees and from cotton. That's 2 kinds of plants. The grains and the fruits and the veggies you eat, why, they come from plants too. And here's something neat. In deserts and woods and rainforests thick grow plants that can make you feel well when you're sick. Yes, plants serve us well and fill so many needs, and flowering plants all started as seeds. Just what is a seed, you're wondering, maybe? Well, you might say a seed is a tiny plant baby. The best way for you to see just what I mean is to take a close look at a seed called a bean. Like all seeds, a bean comes in 3 basic parts. Thing 1 and thing 2, please bring on the charts. Part 1 is the first that I think you should know. It's the part that's the baby. It's called embryo. To sprout, it needs food, like you and I do, which brings us to seed part numero 2. It's called cotyledon. Say, isn't that fun? This bean seed has 2, but some others have 1. Last comes the third part that you need to know. It's the coat which protects our cute bean embryo. That's the coat on the outside. To sprout a bean seed, keep it moist, but not wet. Keep it covered with dirt and then see what you get. In 7 or so days comes the part that I love. A root spreads below and a stem shoots above. Now, in order to show a grown bean plant to you, we've traveled in time for some months, maybe 2. So we've got the shoot system here and the root system here, the bottom. To get a good look at the roots underground, it is better to make like a mole, I have found. Roots are not pretty. They're twisty and hairy, and some roots look even a little bit scary. Roots anchor a plant and help it stand true. Roots suck up the water and minerals too. And roots keep the soil from just washing away. That's pretty important now, wouldn't you say? We've talked about roots and we've learned about them. Now it is time we moved on to the stem. The stem is a pipe through which water shoots. It's absorbed from the soil and passed up through the roots. It shoots through the plant, and next, as you'll see, the leaves each turn into a food factory. Leaves come in all shapes and sizes. Come in all shapes and all sizes, I found. Some small and some spiky, some big and some round. But the thing that all leaves have in common is this: they make their own food by photosynthesis. I'll say this quite loudly. I don't mean to be rude, but plants are the only living things on earth that make their own food. To do this, plants need water, minerals, and sun. And that's why the daytime's when the food making's done. For your information and also for fun, hop in my shrink-upper and let's see how it's done. The leaf takes carbon dioxide through a stoma, or it's a pore. It works like a mouth, and that's what it's for. Then the air gets mixed in with the water and sun, and that's how the food-making factory is run. Oh, I see by my clock that now is the hour to drop in and say a hello to the flower. To make honey, bees need to get nectar from flowers. They fly and they gather this sweet stuff for hours. The pollen sticks onto their bodies and legs. It falls off, and sometimes it reaches the eggs. An ovule, which is an egg that's fertilized, becomes a seed, and around it grows fruit, upon which we feed. When we say the word fruit, do you know what that means? It means olives, nuts, grains, plantains, tangerines, and apples and oranges and pineapples too. All kinds of plant foods that are healthy for you. Not all plants with seeds give us edible fruit. Some plants have seeds that look weird or look cute. Burr seeds are hitchhikers that ride on your clothes. And dandelion seeds sometimes fly up your nose. Some seeds come in pods that explode like a sneeze. Other seeds may have wings and can fly on a breeze. But whether they stick or they blow or they fly, seeds bring us life. And now you know why. I see the sun setting and here comes the moon. Your mother is calling, your dinner is soon. I hope you have learned from my little seed talk, and now I will climb up this giant bean stalk. So I hope you enjoyed that. And as I mentioned, there may have been some words or ideas that you're not familiar with yet, but you will be during our journey into the plant world. One of the ways that we're going to learn on this journey is we're going to become plant detectives. So what do detectives do? Let's think for a moment. A detective, what does a detective do? They investigate things to learn the mysteries, to solve mysteries. We're going to become plant detectives. And when we investigate, we have certain detective tools that we'll need to use as we're learning. Because investigating, you've got to observe, which means you got to look and observe closely and write down what you learn so you can solve those mysteries. So you might have noticed that your bag was a little different for this lesson. And the reason for that is because I sent some detective tools that you'll use throughout our lessons this week, starting this week and for several weeks down the road. So I wanted to start. The most important tool I want you to know actually doesn't come in this bag. A most important tool of a detective is a curious mindset, a curious mind. You know what that means? That just means that you like learning and experiencing new things. And you're curious about the world and the world around you. And nature is wonderful. There's so many things to learn. So that is the most important. So I want you to keep that curious, stay curious through our journey through the plant world. A second tool used by detectives, plant detectives, is a journal. And this is actually called Flipping for Plants. But it's a journal that we will keep over the weeks when we're doing our investigations and observing plants that you'll get to keep. You have your own. And so that's why I did put this, that's why I had a different bag, because I thought this might be a little easier for you to store in your desk. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that you will have, very important for all detectives, and each of you get your own. Oh, here it is. What is this? It's a magnifying glass. Do you know what a magnifying glass is for? What might that be for? It makes things, very small things, it makes it look bigger. I don't know if you can see that so well, but you see how it makes things bigger? So that'll help us, this magnifying glass will help us as we do some of our observations of those very small things that we're gonna find out in nature. Now, I did put I left this little bag in here for the magnifying glass for a particular reason. We don't want to scratch the middle of this, and you want to be able to use this even after all of our lessons end. You'll be able to take this home with you or leave in the classroom for other lessons. But it's real important that we don't scratch the lens, which is the end part, the part that we see through there. That's why I left it in the bag and then put that paper clip back on, if you can keep track of it, so it doesn't fall out of there and so it won't get scratched when you're putting it back into the bag when you're not using it. And last but not least, you'll find some stickers of either trees or flowers or something that you can decorate going back to your journal. This is our activity for the day. You can use those stickers to help decorate here, and you can color, excuse me, you can color just the top portion up here for now. And the other fun thing I thought we could do is to give ourselves detective names. So I came up with Detective LaPlante will be my name, my detective name for our journey through the plant world. You can come up with your own, and you can write that in this middle section here so that you can keep track of your journal. You know which one is yours, because this will be very important for us to be able to write down our thoughts and observations that we see during our lessons. So all of those things can be kept in this plastic bag in your desk, or maybe your teacher has a special place for it, but that's why we have these, because I sent this so it'd be a little bit easier for you to keep track of. And certainly last but not least, my friends, we had on the newsletter I sent, you may have noticed some of the very fun snack art. All of these things are made from plants, all these different snacks. Every single thing that those are made with come from plants. Oh my goodness, so many wonderful choices when we're eating plants. Let's see if you got the riddle. This is a simple riddle. I think you will agree. This thing has leaves and a trunk, which means that it's a tree. That's right. I bet you got that one. So there's that. And I wanted to show you, I made the little snail snack. That was hard to say. Snail snack. Say that 3 times fast. And you can use whatever you've got at home, apples, pears. I used sunflower butter, but you may have peanut butter or all different kinds of things. But all these are made with plants, everything from plants. And it's gonna be quite tasty. Oh, my friends, I'm so excited about our new adventure into the plants. And you can think about, be curious about things down the road of all the things that we're gonna do and learn about. Just one second, I wanna get something real quick. I meant to bring this earlier. So I'm gonna sign off now. And I just wanna say, stay curious, my friends. Till next time.